stored in the right sub array. Okay, so this is quick sort. Is this clear? Now look at the left sub array. The elements are 2, 4, 18. Okay, so here we have taken a sorted, or we have taken all the elements in sorted manner, but it can happen that maybe at first we got the element 18, and then the next element is 2, and then 4. So every time we have to take a pivot element if we want to find out its correct position. So this is quick sort. Now we'll use another array. Okay, so this is an array with 9 elements: 7, 6, 10, 5, 9, 2, 1, 15, and 7. Okay, so how many elements are here? 9 elements. Okay, so at first we will store all the elements in an array, and what will be their indexes? If we start from 0, then for 7 the index is 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so suppose the name of the array is A, and here lower bound equals to 0 and upper bound equals to 8. Okay, so now if we want to apply the quick sort method here, at first we need to select an element as pivot element, and that element can be 7, that element can be this one 7, and that element can be 5. Okay, so now in this array we have taken these elements 7 twice, right? We know that if the elements are less than the pivot element, then store them in the left subarray, or if the elements are greater than the pivot element, then store them in the right subarray. What about the element of equal value? So here 7 and 7. So the condition, you can set the condition. Suppose if you want, you can take the similar value in the left subarray or in the right subarray. It depends on how you are setting the conditions. Okay, so now we can take 7 as the pivot element. That means we are taking an element from the beginning of the array. So here pivot equals to 7. Okay, so now how we can divide this array into 2 subarray? We cannot just divide into 2 2 subarray, and then we cannot just store randomly the elements in those subarrays. Okay, so now we have to define, or we have to declare 2 loop variable, or 2 variable. One is start and another is end. So I'm taking the array again. This is the array with 9 elements. Okay, and the value are 7, 6, 10, 5, 9, 2, 1, 15, and 7. And which one is the pivot element? 7 is the pivot element. That means now we'll find out the correct place for that 7. Okay, so here now we'll use 2 variable, 2 pointer. One pointer is start, and how we can initialize them? Here start is a pointer, and we can initialize as the lower bound. So here start equals to lower bound, and lower bound equals to 0. So we'll start this pointer from here, from this location 0. And we need another pointer, that is end. And how we can initialize this pointer? End equals to upper bound. So we'll start it from here, from this location 8. Okay, so how we are going to find out the elements which are less than 7? By using this start pointer. Okay, so this start pointer will be started from here, from the beginning of the array, and we can move it from left to right side. And every time, whenever we are getting an element which is less than 7, this pointer value will be incremented by 1. What about the pointer end? Now we can conduct it from right to left, because we have to find out all the elements whose value are greater than 7. Okay, so if an element is greater than 7, at that time the value of end pointer will be decremented. It will be decreased by 1. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we can start the comparison process. The pivot element is 7, and by, or we can use I. Suppose I is the point here. I will be used as start pointer and j is another pointer. Okay, so the value of I will be incremented if the value is less than 7. Okay, so at first we will compare 7, pivot equals to 7, and now I equals to 0. The name of the array is 0. So a pivot equals to 7 and ai equals to 7. So both are same. And what is the condition? The first condition is if the start value is less than the end value, then this pointer will be incremented by 1. But here 7 and 7, they're equal, isn't it? So when we can stop this incrementation process, when you find an element which is greater than 7. Okay, so here the 7 is equal to the 7. So now the value will not be incremented. This is our pointer I. Okay, now there is another pointer j. So at first we'll compare this element 7 with the pivot element. So when this pointer value j will be decremented, if this value is greater than the pivot element. So now compare it. Initially end equals to, or j equals to 8, so a8 equals to 7. Whatever pivot equals to 7, so they are equal, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So now what will happen to this pointer j? Do we need to decrement the pointer? I'm starting from the beginning. This is quick sort algorithm, and we have taken how many pointers? 3. One is our pivot, and pivot, the first element is taken as a pivot element. So 7 is pivot. Okay, then we are using 2 pointer. One is start and another is end. Okay, so this start pointer will be incremented if we are moving from left to right? And when the value will be incremented, when the value, suppose now the pointer is here, if the value is less than or equals to the pivot element, then the pointer value will be incremented. That means here we got an element exactly equal to the pivot element, so the pointer value should be incremented by 1, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm writing the condition here. There are 2 conditions. The first one is while, what is the name of the array? A. Okay, so if a start is less than or equals to pivot, then start plus plus. And what is another condition? Another condition is while a end is greater than pivot, then j or end minus minus. This is another condition. Okay, so initially, what is the value of I or start? Start equals to 0. So a0 equals to 7 and pivot equals to 7. That means we have to increase the value of this pointer I. So I plus plus. Now this is the new value of I. I equals to 1. So a1 equals to 6. Is it less than pivot?
Yes, ma'am.
Look at the condition. It's less than pivot. That means I plus plus. So now I is here. Now this is I. Okay, so I equals to 2 and A2 equals to 10. Is it less than pivot element? No. Now we can stop the incrementation process here. So now this is the new value of I. Okay. So there is another pointer end, and when its value will be decremented by 1 if that value is greater than the pivot value. So initially end equals to 8. Okay, and A8 equals to 7. Is it greater than 7? No. That means this condition is not true. So that means we can stop the decrementation process here. Is that clear?
And that means we have to start from the beginning, and once it's get stopped, then we have to start from the end again.
Yeah, because we are initializing this pointer in this way. Look at this. Start equals to lower bound and end equals to upper bound. Clear? So when this, at this point we stop the decrementation, right? So what is the value of I now? I equals to 2 and j equals to 8. Okay, after that now swapping, we have to change the position of these two pointer. So here we can write it. If there is another condition, if start is less than end, and look at this, what is the value of start, or what is the value of I equals to 2 and start equals to, sorry, end equals to 8. That means this condition is true. When this condition is true, we can use this function swap a start with a end. So when you can swap these two elements, if the condition is true, if this is start, okay, if start is less than end, okay, so now how we can change this to value? 7 will be stored in the place of 10, isn't it? So this is a new array now with 9 elements. This is our pivot element 7 and then 6, and now in this position we will store 7. This is 7, and here this is a pointer start, or you can simply write I. Then 5, 9, 2, 1, 15, and here we'll store 10, and this is the value of the pointer j, and this 7 is our pivot. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll continue this step until this condition is not true. Okay, so now again we'll start from here. I equals to 2. Okay, so a2 equals to 7. Now compare it with the pivot element. 7 is less than or equals to 7. That means the value of I will be now incremented. So I plus plus, what is the new value of I? I equals to 3. And now AI or A3 equals to 5. Is it less than pivot element? Yes. That means again incrementation. So the value of I will be incremented. So now the new value of I is 4. Here AI equals to 9. Is it less than 7? No. So if this condition is not true, now will not increase the value of I. This is it clear? So it is the, now this 4 is the place of this pointer start or I. Okay, so now we can compare the elements from the right side of the array. What is the value of j? J equals to 8. So A8 equals to 10. Is it greater than 7? Yes. So the condition is true. Now j minus minus. What is the new value of j now? J equals to 7. Okay, so AJ equals to 15. 15 is greater than 7. So again, this condition is true. Again, j minus minus. So now after the decrementation, the new value of j is 1. So here j equals to 6 and aj equals to 1. Is it less than, sorry, is it greater than 7? No. So at that time, we'll stop this decrementation. Okay. So after that, we will swap these two elements. When we can change the position of these two pointer, if this condition is true, if start is less than end, and here I equals to 4 and j equals to 6. So this condition is here. We are assuming I as start and j means end. So here I is less than j. That means we will change the position of these two elements. Okay, so now this is the new array. So first one is 7, then 6, again 7, 5, and now here we'll store 1. Okay, after that 2, and in this position we'll store 9, and then 5, after that 10. You can write the indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so where is I now? I equals to 4, so this is I, and j equals to 6, so this is j.
Okay. There confusion. Isn't 9 is greater than 1? Like about the condition. There the condition is start less than end. So start was 9 and the end is...
No. We are not taking the value. We are taking the location indexes.
Oh, index number. Oh, all
yes.
Right.
So here I equals to 4 and AI equals to 9. I equals to 4, but AI equals to 9. That is A4 equals to 9. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now again, here, look at this, I equals to 4, j equals to 6. That means we will repeat this process until start is less than end. So here we can apply the same condition. We can continue, we can repeat this whole process until start is less than end. So here, look at the value of start and end, or I or j. What is the value of I? I equals to 4 and j equals to 6. That means now we can continue this process one more time. So again, compare it with the pivot element. I equals to 4. So A4 equals to 1. Is it less than 7? Yes. That means the condition is true. Again, I plus plus. Okay, so what is the new value of I now? I equals to 5. Okay, so now these two, A5 is less than pivot element. Again, I plus plus. What is the value of I now? I equals to 6. Okay, so now compare this element with 7. Is it less than 7? No. Now here we'll stop the incrementation process. Okay, so j equals to 6. So aj or a6 equals to 9. Compare it with the pivot element. Is it greater than 7? Yes. So this condition is true. Now j minus minus. Now what is the new value of j? J equals to 5 and aj or a5 equals to 2. Is it greater than 7? No. So we can stop the decrementation process here. Right, so after stopping this incrementation and decrementation, what I usually do? We change the position of start and end, but here we can't do it. Why not? Because the condition is not true. Start equals to 6 and end equals to 5. At this point, start is actually greater than end. So if this condition is not true, then we can apply another condition. That is, now the swapping will be done between the pivot element and the element which is in this end position. So now the swapping is between the pivot element, or how we have taken the pivot. Look at this here, lower bound equals to 0 and pivot equals to 0. So a pivot equals to 7. So here if you want, you can write a lower bound or a pivot and a end. Okay, so now j, this is our end pointer, right? So j equals to 5, that means aj equals to 2. Now the swapping is between 2 and the pivot element 7. So after this swapping now, 2 will be stored where? In location 0. Okay, so here we will store 2 and then 6, 7, 5, 1. Then this is 7, 9, 5, 10. And now this 7 is, we have placed it in its correct position. Okay, so what is the value of this pivot now? 5. Okay, so now 7 is placed in the correct position. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, at position 7, this is 15.
It is 15. Thank you. Okay, so I'm repeating the process from the beginning. This is quicksort algorithm, and we are going to use divide and conquer method here. Okay, and every time we will select one element as pivot element, and then we'll try to figure out the correct place for that element. How we can find out the correct position? By dividing the array into two sub-array. And in the left side of that pivot element will be less than the pivot element. Look at this, 2, 6, 7, 5, 1. All these are less than 7. And the right side, 9, 15, 10 are greater than 7. But these array, this left and right sub-array are not sorted because we just placed one element in the correct position. Right, so we are applying how many conditions here? There are 3 conditions. At first, we need to employ 2 pointers. One is start, another is end. And what is the initial value of start? Start equals to lower bound and end equals to upper bound. So these pointer will be moved, will be shifted from the left side to the right side. And when you can increase its value, when the data is less than the pivot element. At that time, this pointer value will be incremented by 1. There is another pointer that is end. Okay, and this pointer is used for comparing the element which are greater than the pivot element. So whenever we're getting an element that is greater than the pivot element, that pointer value will be decremented by 1. Okay, so after that, when this incrementation and decrementation will be stopped, then we can swap the data. Okay, so when the swapping will be done between the pivot element and the end element, when the condition that start less than end is not true, this one. At that time, we will now change the data. Which data? The data from the pivot and the data from the end pointer. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is one subarray, this is subarray 1, and this is another subarray, that is a right subarray. Okay, so now from this left subarray and the right subarray, again, we have to find out, we have to take one element as pivot element. You can take the element from the beginning or from the middle, from the end. Okay, so suppose we are taking 2 as a pivot element. So now pivot equals to 0 or a pivot equals to 2. Okay, so now we can set 2 pointer. One is I, and that is start. Another is j, that is end. So start equals to lower bound and end equals to upper bound. Now we're working on this subarray. Okay, so for this subarray, the lower bound is 0 and the upper bound is 4, and this 2 is the pivot element. This is the pivot element, and for this subarray, now the lower bound is 6, so here we can set the pointer start or I equals to 6 because I equals to lower bound, and then start or j equals to upper bound, and this 9 is the pivot element. Okay, so at first we'll work with this left subarray. I equals to 0, so ai equals to 2. Is it less than or equals to pivot? Yes, then the value of I will be incremented. So I plus plus, I equals to 1. So here AI or A1 equals to 6. Is it less than 2? No. So now we can stop the incrementation. Okay, so this is J. AJ equals to 1. Is it greater than 2? No. So now we don't need to decrement its value. Okay, so now I equals to 1 or AI equals to 6, and this is J. Now look at this condition. Is it true that start less than end? Yes, it's true because I equals to 1 and j equals to 4. So now we'll change these two data. So in the left subarray now, the first, this is 2, and here in this position we'll store which one? 1, and then 7, 5, and then 6. And these are pivot element. Now in the right subarray. Okay, so the pivot is 9 and I equals to 6. So AI equals to 9. Compare the pivot element and this element. They're equal, right? So I plus plus. What is the value of I now? I equals to 7. So AI equals to 15. Okay. This pointer value will not be incremented. Why not? Because 9. Sorry here. So now 15, is it less than or equals to 9? No. 15 is greater than 9. So here we can stop the incrementation. Okay. So look at this pointer end or j. J equals to 8 or aj equals to 10. Is it greater than 9? Yes. So j minus minus. Now j equals to 7. So aj equals to 15. Is it greater than 9? Yes. Again j minus minus. So now j equals to 6. Okay, so here j equals to 9 and pivot equals to 9. They're equal. That means this condition is not true. So now this pointer not be decremented. Okay, so look at this condition. Is it true? That is I is less than j. Is it true or false? Here I equals to 7 and j equals to 6. So is this condition true? No. If this condition is not true, that means now we cannot swap the start and end element. We have to use the second one. Now the swapping will be done between the pivot element and the element which is in jth position. But the data is same. Pivot equals to 9 and j equals to 9. That means this is the correct place for 9. 9 will be stored here. Okay, and then the next element is 15 and then 10. Still, this is our first subarray because this is our pivot. This is our, let me write the index value. So this one was our left subarray and this one is the right subarray. And for this left subarray, which one is the pivot element? This 2. And for this subarray, 9 is the pivot element. And now we have placed it in its correct position. Okay, but in the left subarray, still we didn't place it in its correct position, right? So how we can, again, from where we'll start the process? Here I equals to 1 and j equals to 4, isn't it?
Yes.
Then again start the comparison. For the, look at the right subarray. For the right subarray, we already got the pivot element 9 in the position 6. Okay. After that, again, we'll divide the array into 2 subarray. But here, all the elements are greater than 9. That's why we have only one subarray, that is the right subarray. Okay. For this right subarray, now the lower bound is 7. So here I equals to 7 and upper bound is 8. So j equals to 8. Okay. So now in this left subarray, again we'll start this process because I is less than j. So now compare the pivot element with this element 1. 1 is less than 2. That means this condition is true. Now I plus plus. What is the value of I now? I equals to 2. Okay. So ai equals to 7. Is it less than 2? Is it less than 2? No. That means this is, now we can keep the pointer here, I equals to 2. Okay, so j equals to 4. Now compare it with pivot. 6 is greater than 2. So this condition is true. Now j minus minus. The new value of j is 5. So is it greater than 2? Yes. Again, j minus minus. So now j equals to 2. aj equals to 7. Is it greater than pivot element 2? Yes, it's greater than the pivot element. Again, j minus minus. So now the new value of j is 1. Okay. So is it greater than 2? No. So now we can stop the decrementation process here. Okay. So in this step, here at this point, I equals to 2 and j equals to 1. Look at this condition. Is it true or not? This condition is not true. That means now we'll change the pivot element with the element from this end, from this position. Here j equals to 1 and pivot equals to 0. So here we'll replace these two data, 2 and 7. Is it clear how the swappings will be done? When the condition start less than end or I less than end is not true, then we'll use this one. Swap the pivot element and the end element. Okay, so now where will store, where will insert this 2? Where will insert 2? It's written here, a lower bound, that means a pivot equals to 2, isn't it? I don't know whether you can see the screen or not. Is this visible?
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Yeah, so why are you not giving me the answer? I'm asking which two elements will be now replaced. I mean, this 2 is our pivot element, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we are going to exchange this pivot element with the element from this position from end or j. So j equals to 1. That means 1 will be stored here and 2 will take the place of 1. Is it that difficult?
No.
And 7, 5, 6, again 7, 9, 15, 10. After this change now, what will be the new value of I and j? The pointer value will be same. Now j equals to 1 and I equals to 2. Now look at this array. After changing the pivot element with the end element, that means we have inserted the pivot element in its correct position, isn't it? So now this 2 was our pivot element, and now its position is 1. And in the left side, all the elements are less than 2. In the left side, there is only one element, that is 1, and it's less than 2. In the right side, 7, 5, and 6. These 3 elements are greater than 2. That means this position 1 is the right position for 2. So after that, what is the process? Now again, we will divide, or here, this is the left subarray for this pivot 2, and this is the right subarray. Again, we have to find out a pivot element for this right and left subarray. In the left subarray, there is only one element. That means this is in the sorted order, right? We don't need to sort it again. So this is the correct place for 1. Okay, so this is the right subarray for this pivot element 2. How many elements are here? There are only 3 elements, 7, 5, and 6. And in this right subarray, there are only 2 elements, 15 and 10. Now we're going to use the same formula. We're going to use the same condition. At first, we'll select one element as pivot element, and then set the pointer I and j. After that, just the comparison. So here now, which element will become the pivot element? Anyone. Okay, so we can take 7 as a pivot element. So this is the pivot element for this subarray. And in this subarray, 15 is the pivot element. Okay, so now for this subarray, lower bound is 2. So here we can assign the pointer I, and upper bound equals to 4. So here we can set the pointer j. And for this subarray, the lower bound is 7. So here we can set I, and j equals to upper bound, that is 8. So again, comparison. So here for this subarray, the pivot element is 7. Now compare this ai'th element with the pivot element. Ai equals to 7, and 7 is equals to 7. That means this condition is true. Now I plus plus. So now the new value of I is 3. And A3 equals to 5. Is it less than 7? Yes. Then again I plus plus. So now I equals to 4. Is it less than 7? Yes. But we cannot increase the pointer. Why not? Because this is the upper bound of the array. We are working on only this array, only this subarray with 3 elements. Okay, so this is the place of I now. J equals to 4 and AJ equals to 6. Is it greater than 7? No, it's not greater than 7. Okay, so we can't decrease the value of this pointer j. So now look at this condition. Is it true that start less than end? No. Here I and j are equal. Both are 4. That means we cannot now execute this statement. We have to now perform a swapping between the pivot element and the end element. That means now this 7 and 6, these 2 elements will be replaced. Okay. So the next step is so 1, 2, and in this position, which element will be stored now? 6, then 5, 7, 7, 9. Okay, now look at this subarray now. This 15 is a pivot element, and AI equals to 15. They're equal. Is this condition true? Yes. Start is equals to pivot. Now I plus plus. So what is the value of I now? I equals to 8. So this is I. And is this less than 9? Sorry, our pivot element was 15. So 10, is this
Yes, ma'am.
less than 15? Yes. But we cannot increase the value. Why? Because this is the end of the array. Okay. So look at the pointer j. What is the value of j? J equals to 8. Now compare it with pivot. Is this greater than 15? No. Then so now here I and j are same. I equals to j. So this condition is not true. Now the swapping will be done between these elements 10 and the pivot element. Look at this ALB, that is A pivot and A end. So A end equals to 10 and A pivot equals to 15. So here now we will store 10 After that, 15. Okay, so now the pivot element is placed in the correct position. Okay, so look at the left side of this pivot element. In the left subarray, there is only one element. So do we need to use all these conditions for sorting one element? No. When the array has only one element, that means it's automatically sorted. Okay, so now look at this array. This is another array with two elements, 6 and 5, and we got it after placing 7 in its correct position. Okay, so here now we can write the indexes first. Okay, so here I equals to 2 and j equals to 3 because this is our lower bound and this is the upper bound. And which one is the pivot now? This 6 is the pivot. Okay, so now again comparison. AI, that is 6, is it less than 6? Is it less than the pivot element? They are equal. That means this condition is true. Okay, so now the pointer value will be increased. So I plus plus, that is the value of I is now 3. Okay, so 5, is this less than 6? Yes, but this is the end of the array, so we cannot now increase this pointer value. Okay. Look at the pointer j. What is the value of j now? J equals to 3. So aj equals to 5. Compare it with the pivot element. Is it greater than the pivot element? No. So we cannot change this pointer value. Okay. So here again the condition is not true because I and j, they're equal. I equals to 3 and j equals to 3. That means we can swap the pivot element. We can change the pivot element and the element from which position? From the jth position. Okay, so after this swapping now, 5 will be stored here. This is 5 and this is 6. Okay, so now look at this array. Already we have stored all the elements in their correct position. So now this array is sorted. Look at the data 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 7, 9, 10, 15. So the array is now sorted and this is quick sort. Okay, so the process, look at this here, we just use the recursive function. What we are doing here at first, just take a pivot element and then set two pointers, start and end. Start pointer will be used for comparing all the elements that are less than the pivot element. End pointer will be used for comparing all the elements that are greater than the pivot element. Okay, so the start pointer value will be increased if the value is less than the pivot element, and end pointer will be decreased by 1 if that value is greater than the pivot element. Okay, so suppose at a point we got that now the data at this point the data is not less than or equals to pivot element, so now we can't increase the pointer, and at this point j is not greater than the pivot element, so stop the decrementation process. Now we have to find out whether this condition is true or not. So if start is less than n, now the swapping will be done between the elements start and end. If the condition is not true, that means swap which two elements, the pivot element and the end element. So in this way, we can place only one element in its correct position. Okay, so after placing the pivot element in its correct position, now we can divide the array into two subarrays. One that is from the left side of this pivot element, and here all the elements are less than the pivot element 7, and in the right subarray all the elements are greater than 7. So now in both of these subarray we'll use the same formula, we'll use the same approach. Just find the pivot element and then compare the pivot element with the end pointer and the start pointer. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
What about the others? Is it clear? Quick sort is really important because most of the cases for sorting the array, we usually use this one, the quick sort algorithm. Is it clear to you?
Yes.
Okay, so I hope you can write the algorithm, as here I have written almost the half of the code. Almost I have written the whole code actually. Okay, so at the end of this swapping process, what it will return. I mean, we need to find out which parameter will be returned by this program. Which one? Hello.
Couldn't hear you clearly. Could you say that again?
I asked you, after this swapping process, okay, the program needs to return something, right? So which one, which parameter it will return? Obviously the location of that pivot element, and that location is actually the end. I mean, this one, the position of j. So it will return end or j. Right, look at this here. Maybe suppose this one is or 2 is the pivot element, and this 5 or 1 was the jth element. So when this condition is not true, we're swapping 2 elements from the pivot, from the lower bound, and 1 from the jth position, right? So the element from the lower bound, from this position, will be moved to where? In the position of that pointer end, right? That means we are keeping that pivot element in this position. That's why it will return end. Okay. So I already told you what is the time complexity of this quick sort algorithm. For worst case, time complexity is order of n square, and for average case or for best case, it's order of n log n. Okay, so that is quick sort. And another one was merge sort. So did you solve it, the merge sort algorithm? Hello. Do I need to explain that process again, merge sort? Yes or no?
Yes.
Hello. Do I need to repeat the whole process of merge sort?
No, ma'am.
I'm not getting a response. Hello, can you hear me?
No, ma'am.
We can hear you.
Yes.
Yes, so please give me the answer. Do I need to repeat the whole process?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm giving you some data. 66, 77, 11, 88, 99, 22, 33, 44, 55. Okay, so suppose these 9 elements are stored in an array. Is this sorted? No. So now we want to apply or use the merge sort algorithm for sorting the array. So how we can start this, the procedure? How we can start? You said that I don't need to explain the whole process. So please help me with this one. How we can start the merge sort algorithm? Anyone?
Ma'am, first of all, we have to divide the array in half. And we have to continue this process until we got the single array.
Very good. Very good. That is a division process. So here, lower bound is 0 and upper bound is 8. So which one is the midpoint? This one is the midpoint, right? So we can take all the elements from the lower bound up to this mid in one half of the array, and in another half we can store all the elements. This is mid plus 1, so mid plus 1 to upper bound. So from this array we can get 2 sub-array. So in one sub-array we can store all the elements from lower bound to mid, and here mid is 4. So 66, 77, 11, 88, and 99. Okay, so this is another half of the array where we can take all the elements from mid plus 1 to upper bound. So it's 22, 33, 44, and 55. Okay, so in merge sort we'll continue this division process until each sub-array has only one element, or until we get exactly how many sub-arrays, n sub-arrays, and here n equals to 9. So again, this array will be divided into 2 halves. So So the lower bound is 0 and the upper bound is 4. So which one is the midpoint? This one is the midpoint. So we will take all the elements from lower bound to mid in the first half of the array. So 66, 77, then 11. This is the first half of this array. And then another one is mid plus 1, that is 3 to 4. 3 to upper bound, 88 and 99. Again, you can divide it into two halves. There are 4 elements, we can take exactly 2 elements in each half of the array. So now this is the first half of the array, 22, 33, and then 44 and 55. Indexes are 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, what is the next step? Again, division, because these subarrays have more than one element. So again, it will be divided into two halves. Lower bound is 0 and upper bound is 2. 0 plus 2 equals to 2. 2 divided by 1, that is 1. So we'll take first 2 elements in this half of the array, 66 and 77. After that, 11. Then this one will be divided into two halves, right? That is 88, then 99. And the next one will be 22, then 33, 44, and the last one is 55, right? So look at this step. All the elements, all the array exactly has how many elements? One element except this one. So again, we can divide it into two halves. One with the element 66, another with 77. Okay, so this is the last step of this division process. Divide the given array into how many sub-arrays? N sub-arrays. So there are how many sub-arrays? 9 sub-arrays. So this is our division process. After that, how we can merge the sub-arrays? Because we have to merge all the sub-array into one sub-array. But we cannot merge more than 2 sub-array at a time. We can take only 2 adjacent sub-arrays and then we can merge them. So here, at first we can take 66 and 77 and we can merge them. But before merging these 2 elements, we have to compare the data, right? So 66 is less than 77. So 66 is less than 77, we can store 66 first. So 66 and then 77. And this 11 can be compared with only with these. We can merge this element with this one. Okay, so now 11 can be compared with 66. Is it less than 66? Yes, so we can keep it before 66. Okay, now we can compare this to 88 and 99. 88 is less than 99, so at first we will take 88, after that 99. From these 2 sub-array, how we can merge them? Just take 2 adjacent sub-array and compare. So the first one is less than the 33. We store 22 first and then 33. And now we can merge these 2 sub-array, 44 and 55. What is the next step? Now again, you can take 2 adjacent sub-arrays, that is this 2 and this 2 sub-array. Okay, so how we can merge these sub-arrays? At first, 11 will be compared with 88. So 11 is less than 88. So we don't need to change its position. Now the next data is 66. Compare it with 88. 66 is less than 88. Okay, we don't need to change its position also. And then the next one is 77. It's less than 88. That means we don't need to change the position of those data. We can simply just merge them. So after merging these 2 sub-array, there will be how many elements? 5 elements. 11, 66, 77, 88, and the last one is 99. Now we can merge these 2 elements. So at first, compare 22 with 44. Is it less than 20? 44 is greater than 22, right? So at first, we can insert that one, 22. And then the next element is 33. Compare it with 44. Is it less than 44? Yes. So we can take 33 And after that, just add all the elements from the next subarray, 44 and 55. So now we have only two subarrays. The last step is merge these two subarray. So before merging these two subarray, we have to compare the data, isn't it? And after this merging process, we get only one array with how many elements? 9 elements. So 11, it will be compared with 22. 11 is less than 22, so we'll store it first. And then compare 66 with 22. Now 22 is less than 66, so 22 will be stored now. Then compare 33 with 66. 33 is less than 66, so we can store it. And then compare 44 with 66. 44 is less than 66, so we can store it here. After that, the next one. This is our left subarray and right subarray. I'm not going there. We know the concept of the algorithm, right? So here 55 is less than 66, so we'll store it. Okay. Now we have taken all the elements from the right subarray, and this left subarray is already sorted. So now we can just add all the elements from the left subarray. 66, 77, 88, and 99. And this is merge sort algorithm. First you divide.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Third element will be 33.
Sorry, third element? Oh, sorry. It's not
33, ma'am.
It's 33. Thank you. It's 33. Yeah. So this is merge sort algorithm. I hope it's clear to you now.
Yes, ma'am. Now I am clear.
Yes, madam.
Okay. So that's all about sorting. And in the next class, we'll start graph again. Okay.